When someone asks me and is curious about my investments, I accelerate the conversation by sending my book, 7 Pillars of a Fully Performing Asset. The first question is why do you want to know? And what do you want to do? And do you want your money to actually work for you and double faster? Or are you stuck working for your money? Most are stuck and don't know how to transition from trading mentality to wealth. That's where I was until I asked, how did my grandfather transition from stocks to wealth? Well, what are your goals? What do you want your investments to do for you? What strategy are you depending upon to keep you on target with your time? What is your allocation among the primary 4 categories of assets? What are the guarantees you expect from your money? Then what are the priorities you have for your guarantees? How will you inspect what you expect from your money? How will you make a methodical transition to maximizing the performance of your money? I had a cousin ask me, how do I make money from fully performing assets after she read my book, Wealth on Your Street? I was baffled it was not abundantly clear. So I put together this picture book, 7 Pillars Guaranteed. Let me explain further and read you in on a big secret. The previous questions are not answerable until you hear and learn this content. Never run out of money. When people are in the market, often the only choice they have is monthly liquidations. When combined with market losses, unexpected expenses, taxes, fees, and other issues cause people in the market to run out of money when life lasts longer than they previously thought or worse. They need a process called the FIAAR strategy. Strategy on your street. The first component of the strategy is 0% floor. Never lose money to the market. Second, all maturing assets produce income. And third, reducing the mix of risk by the Wall Street rule of 100 every year. This strategy helps keep you on track as you mature, and you've likely never seen anything like this before on Wall Street. Many believe there are only 2 categories of assets. Assets at risk on Wall Street in stocks, bonds, and mutual funds, and non-performing assets on Main Street in banks. But there are 2 more primary categories no one wants you to know. Assets at risk are defined as anything that can decline more in one day in value than might come back in a year. In that loss, you've lost time, money, and future income because it costs more to return to break even because losses are greater than gains. Non-performing assets are defined as any asset that earns less than inflation, like houses, cars, savings, checking, CDs, anything on Main Street in banks. Underperforming assets are any asset that generally earns less than inflation plus administration costs. This asset is attempting to outpace inflation but is unable to break free from its limitations. You are most likely benefit from my personal treasury strategy, which illustrates best practices to easily maximize your results using all 4 categories. Assets at risk, non-performing assets, underperforming assets, and fully performing assets. Fully performing assets are evidenced by 5 to 15 guarantees or pillars. An FPA has the opportunity to preserve, protect, and prolong by sources of funds being greater than uses of funds over long periods of time, for example, 40 to 60 years. The definition of the FPA generally expands to more pillars over time as the demand for capital grows. Years ago, in my grandfather's day, there were just a few pillars. You have been told the power of guarantees for 200 years don't exist, but now they do. Once you apply order to your priorities, you will import your identity into your strategy. Never lose money eliminates the fear of losing out. The 0% floor means your account never will go down by market loss, but benefits from all the market upside. Number 2, uncapped gains eliminates the fear of missing out. Most people in the market stay too long trying to time the swings. Nobody wants to miss getting all the upside they can. Number 3, guaranteed income for life. Differentiate between liquidity events and income that is guaranteed. However, this is only possible when you never lose money. You have the opportunity to never run out of money reproducing money automatically that everyone wants to achieve. And number 4, long-term care benefits. This allows the owner to maximize their length and quality of life by utilizing the growth engine for tax-free income. Next is creditor and legal protection. Most states protect fully performing assets from loss by creditors and lawsuits. Of course, laws are always subject to change, but when combined with the living trust, it is often considered by many to be the best layers of protection for you and your family. The next pillar is expanded market participation. The rate of participation above the growth of the index. If it's 120% of expanded market participation on a 10% growth, you'll achieve a 12% credit on your account, better than options and no risk of loss. Next is guaranteed benefits growth. The time during which the income base grows above is referred to as the roll-up period, and the rate at which it grows is referred to as the roll-up rate. The rate is used for the roll-up period tax-free growth. Contributing to a fully performing asset is like removing the cap on an annual contributions to an IRA. Due to tax-free growth benefits stepped up for every reset on the horizon, whether annually or biannually, causes the floor to be reset by as little as 0%, never lessened by as much as the increase in the account value. Spousal continuance, continuing the exact same guarantees for the surviving spouse, so the surviving trap is not sprung. A side-by-side street comparison, look for the green to discover the key differences. 0% floor doubles every 7 to 15 years on average and is 100% protected money in reserve. On Wall Street, expectations are only hope, while very low on Main Street. It's guaranteed on your street. Now you can expect guarantees with uncapped growth on top of those guarantees for life. Inspect what you expect. Asset comparison. All assets have a signature based upon the number of pillars, and most assets are single-purpose with only one pillar. Some have 2, but only fully performing assets have 5 to 15 pillars to define their signature. Now you have a current blueprint and a future one based upon the current allocation by category and assets, plus how you intend to improve them with your time on your street. Your retirement forecast dashboard is your next step and ready for you to use it, and it will allow you to reveal your options to make the most of your future. The hypothetical value of money is generally considered the maximum amount of opportunity for growth you can earn in a year without surrendering points to others. Here you can establish a sound basis for expectations so you can differentiate from what might be gambling. Additional components on your street are your personal treasury system with guaranteed present value, guaranteed future value, and net forecast value. Next, there's the 3 Ds of wealth, is how dollars, dates, and deliverables can establish expectations and you can inspect and manage for yourself. Your street's family living trust, which gives you the advantages of cost control and confidence today and in the future. Your street's rule of 75 versus Wall Street's rule of 100, and why these allocations will establish your future retirement and general wealth on solid ground. 7 Pillars Guaranteed is a pictorial representation of my first book, Wealth on Your Street, a principle and priority-based process for financial success, and then Safety on Your Street reveals how the 7 pillars overcome the threats to retirement. Next, Growth on Your Street is a prescriptive approach to retirement and generational wealth. It's now time to schedule your custom side-by-side retirement forecast so you can see your future and how to best pursue it with greater peace and confidence in stewardship your money, your rules, your time on your street. This is Frank Day, author and founder of Your Street Wealth. You have completed the parts where most people ask, why has no one ever told me this before? And they're the ones that move on to schedule their free retirement forecast. Click below to schedule your free $1 million hour, the time window that will likely have an impact of 7 figures on your future. Don't miss it. Do it now.